Assalamu alaikum. Very warm welcome to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Pakistan is deeply concerned at the unwarranted aggression by the Afghan Taliban, Fitna al-Kharij, Fitna al-Hindustan along the Pakistan-Afghanistan border on the nights of 11th, 12th and then 14th, 15th October 2025. Such unprovoked actions aimed at destabilizing the Pakistan-Afghanistan border belied the overall spirit of peaceful neighborhood and cooperative relations between the two neighboring countries. Pakistan, exercising its right of self-defense, not only effectively repulsed the assaults all along the border, but also inflicted heavy losses on Taliban forces and affiliated terrorist groups operating from the Afghan soil in terms of men, material, and infrastructure. These infrastructures were used to plan and facilitate terrorist attacks against Pakistan. Our targeted and precise defensive response was not targeted towards the Afghan civilian population. Unlike Taliban forces, we exercise extreme caution in our defensive responses to avoid loss of civilian lives. At the Taliban regime's request and with mutual consent, the government of Pakistan and the Afghan Taliban regime decided to implement a temporary ceasefire which became effective 6 p.m. on 15th October 2025 and will span for 48 hours. During this period, both sides are making sincere efforts to find a positive resolution to this complex but solvable issue through constructive dialogue. Pakistan greatly values dialogue and diplomacy and a mutually beneficial relationship with Afghanistan. At the same time, the government of Pakistan continues to closely monitor the situation and would take all possible measures to safeguard its territory and the lives of its people. Pakistan strongly rejects assertions and insinuations by the interim Afghan foreign minister in India to divert attention from the presence of terrorist elements in Afghanistan. By making these baseless assertions, the Taliban regime cannot absolve itself of its responsibilities towards regional peace and stability. Continued presence of terrorist elements on Afghan soil and the freedom of activities enjoyed by them in Afghanistan are well documented, including in the UN monitoring team reports. The fight against terrorism is a common cause. Instead of shifting responsibilities, the Taliban regime should honor its commitment of not allowing its territory to be used for terrorism against other countries and play its due role in achieving peace and stability in the region and beyond. Pakistan has repeatedly shared its concerns related to the presence of Fitna al-Kharij and Fitna al-Hindustan operating from Afghan soil. Pakistan expects concrete and verifiable actions against these terrorist elements by the Taliban regime. Pakistan, in the spirit of good neighborliness, Islamic brotherhood, and humanity, has generously hosted around 4 million Afghans for more than 4 decades. Pakistan will take all actions to regulate the presence of Afghan nationals on its territory in accordance with international norms and its domestic laws. Pakistan is desirous of a peaceful, stable, friendly, inclusive, regionally connected, and prosperous Afghanistan. Pakistan expects the Taliban regime to act responsibly, honor its commitments, and play a constructive role in achieving the shared objective of rooting out terrorism from its soil. We also hope that one day the Afghan people would be emancipated and they would be governed by a true representative government. Pakistan has also conveyed its strong reservations on the elements of India-Afghanistan joint statement issued on 10th October 2025 in New Delhi to Afghanistan's ambassador to Pakistan. The reference to Jammu and Kashmir as part of India was in clear violation of the relevant UN Security Council resolutions and the legal status of Jammu and Kashmir. It was highly insensitive to the sacrifices and sentiments of the people of Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir in their just struggle for their right to self-determination. Pakistan also strongly rejected Afghan Acting Foreign Minister's assertions that terrorism is Pakistan's internal problem, as Pakistan has repeatedly shared details regarding the presence of Fitna al-Khawarij and Fitna al-Hindustan terrorist elements operating from Afghan soil against Pakistan with the support from elements within Afghanistan. It emphasized that deflecting the responsibility of controlling terrorism towards Pakistan, the interim Afghan government cannot be absolved of its obligations towards ensuring peace and stability in the region and beyond. On 14th October 2025, Foreign Secretary Ambassador Amna Baloch hosted a comprehensive briefing session on the latest developments on the Pakistan-Afghanistan border for the resident ambassadors in Islamabad, where she underscored Pakistan's legitimate security concerns and its unwavering resolve to protect its territorial integrity and national security. On the recent statements made by the spokesperson of Taliban regime on Pakistan's internal affairs, Pakistan strongly encourages the Afghan spokesman to prioritize issues pertinent to Afghanistan and refrain from commenting on matters outside their jurisdiction. The principle of non-interference in matters of other countries should be adhered to as per international diplomatic norms. Pakistan does not require outside advice on its internal matters. We also expect the Taliban regime to abide by its obligations and promises made to the international community during Doha process. At the joint invitation of Egypt's President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and US President Donald Trump, Prime Minister Mohammad Shahbaz Sharif undertook an important diplomatic visit to Sharm el-Sheikh from 13th to 14th October 2025. The Prime Minister, along with Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister, as well as senior cabinet members, participated in the high-level multilateral initiative aimed at addressing the grave humanitarian and security crisis in Gaza. Pakistan's active role in peace diplomacy has reinforced Pakistan's position as a responsible regional actor committed to global peace and justice. Pakistan's contributions and constructive role in shaping the peace process is widely acknowledged. It has strengthened Pakistan's image as a leading Muslim country for regional security and cooperation. Around 30 leaders, including UK Prime Minister, German Chancellor, President Erdogan of Turkey, Amir of Qatar, President of Indonesia, Canadian Prime Minister, and several other leaders from Muslim and European countries attended the summit in Sharm el-Sheikh. The event included a quadrilateral ceremony for signing of the documents by US, Egypt, Qatar, and Turkey as guarantor of the peace deal. According to the official schedule of the summit, only President Trump and President Sisi were scheduled to make statements after the signing ceremony. Breaking with the agenda, President Trump invited Prime Minister to speak. In his brief remarks, Prime Minister thanked President Trump for providing exemplary leadership in bringing peace to many regions, particularly to Gaza. He also highlighted and thanked President Trump for stopping conflict between India and Pakistan. On the sidelines of the summit, Prime Minister held meetings with the presidents of Palestine, Mahmoud Abbas, and King of Bahrain, Sheikh Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, the President of the United States, Donald Trump, President of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, and Prime Minister of Armenia, Nikol Pashinyan. The Deputy Prime Minister, Foreign Minister, Senator Mohammad Ishaq Dar, also held meetings with counterparts from countries that participated in the summit. The Deputy Prime Minister, Foreign Minister, met the Foreign Minister of Egypt, President of Palestine, Secretary of State of the United States, Foreign Minister of Turkey. The Deputy Prime Minister, Foreign Minister also accompanied the Prime Minister for a meeting with His Majesty King Abdullah II of Jordan on the sidelines of the summit. On his way back from Egypt, the Prime Minister stated that the reason Pakistan was so deeply involved in Gaza Peace Summit was because the most important priority for Pakistan was the immediate cessation of the genocidal campaign imposed on the people of Gaza. Along with other brotherly nations, this priority was stated and reinforced consistently. He expressed Pakistan's gratitude to President Trump, which was anchored in his promising that he would make it stop and delivering on that promise. He added further that Pakistan will continue to express its support and appreciation for President Trump's contribution to peace. The Palestinian people's freedom, dignity, and prosperity remains the primary concern for Pakistan. The establishment of a strong and viable Palestinian state with pre-1967 borders and Al-Quds al-Sharif as its capital remains the bedrock of Pakistan's Middle East policy and will remain so. Ahead of the summit in Sharm el-Sheikh, the Deputy Prime Minister, Foreign Minister held telephonic conversation with the Foreign Ministers of Egypt, Foreign Minister of Azerbaijan, Foreign Minister of Iran, and Minister of State for Foreign Affairs of Qatar on 11th October 2025 to deliberate over diplomatic efforts led by Arab Islamic countries to promote peace and stability in the region and strengthen coordination prior to the summit. On 16th October 2025, the Deputy Prime Minister, Foreign Minister, Senator Mohammad Ishaq Dar, received a telephone call from the Foreign Minister of Saudi Arabia regarding the regional situation and recent developments. The Saudi Foreign Minister appreciated Pakistan's commitment to peace and security in the region and emphasized the importance of collective efforts for stability. On 14th October 2025, the United Nations General Assembly elected Pakistan for a 3-year term on the United Nations Human Rights Council, commencing 1st January 2026. Pakistan secured its seat with a resounding majority of 178 votes. This election to the Council marks the 6th time Pakistan has been chosen for this role since the Human Rights Council's establishment in 2006. This recurring recognition underscores international community's trust in Pakistan's commitment to defending, promoting, and protecting human rights both domestically and globally, as well as its contribution to strengthening the international human rights system. Additionally, it highlights Pakistan's proven track record and persistent efforts as a consensus builder within the Human Rights Council. During its forthcoming term as a member of the Human Rights Council, Pakistan will actively engage with the broader UN membership and civil society to advance all facets of human rights. This includes civil, political, economic, social, and cultural rights, alongside the right to development. Pakistan will also lend its full support to Human Rights Council's mandate and reiterates its commitment to work with the international community on the basis of truce, tolerance, respect, universality, consensus building, and engagement. HRC is the platform for addressing human rights violations worldwide, including those in territories under foreign and illegal occupation. In accordance with the Council's mandate, Pakistan will continue to draw attention to the grave human rights violations by the Indian occupation forces in the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Pakistan will similarly highlight the human rights violations in the occupied Palestinian territory. The Human Rights Council, an intergovernmental body based in Geneva within the United Nations system, is responsible for promoting and protecting human rights globally. Comprising 47 member states, the HRC addresses thematic human rights issues in specific situations requiring urgent attention. The Deputy Prime Minister, Foreign Minister, Senator Mohammad Ishaq Dar, received a telephone call today from the European Union High Representative, Vice President Kaja Kallas. They appreciated the frequent high-level exchanges and the positive momentum in Pakistan-EU relations. Both look forward to continued engagement in the bilateral and multilateral context, including during the upcoming Pakistan-EU strategic dialogue in Brussels in November. They also exchange views on recent regional and global developments. Before I finish my opening statement, I also want to convey to you this is my last press briefing.